evening and welcome to Mystic Matters. I'm Kristin Hartnett from the Greater Mystic Chamber of Commerce, and with me is Al Valente.
Welcome, everybody.
Chairman of the board at the Greater Mystic Chamber of Commerce. Thanks for coming, Al.
My pleasure, my pleasure. I know you're all missing Susette, but you get me as a pinch hitter here.
That's awesome.
The rest of the show.
The rest of the show, unless you misbehave.
I'll get the hook. Yeah,
there's like
absolutely.
A hook, absolutely. So we have some events coming up at the Mystic Chamber, Al.
We do.
What do you think?
And I'm going to talk about two of them real quickly here.
Okay.
One is on June 20th at Fairview. Most of you know where Fairview is. Beautiful, on top of the cliffs overlooking Thames River. We're having a business before hours for our Groton committee with a focus on Groton. And we are delighted to be introducing Captain Todd Moore, the new commanding officer of the subbase. Everybody's very anxious to find out what his vision is and what's in the future for the subbase.
And I hear people refer to him as the CO, like as if we're in the military.
Commanding officer,
yeah. And I was like, what does that mean? Like I was supposed to know, but now I know.
Now you know.
Now I know.
Commanding officer.
The
Absolutely.
CO.
The other one is, which is a lot of fun, by the way, is June 25th, business after hours, but it's not at a stationary place. It is on the Argia boat. You get to sail down the Mystic River, out to the Sound, all the way back. Fun time, fun time. June 25th, starts at 5 o'clock sharp.
Yeah, you got to get there early.
If you don't get there early, you're going to miss that ship. It's going to sail away with or without you.
That's right. Bye.
Bye. Come back again.
Also, June 22nd at noon, that's a Saturday, I believe, Juge is having the ribbon cutting. If you haven't seen her, she's a new business on at 31 Broadway, and she makes her own jewelry. She's a wonderful woman, lots of fun, very creative, and so I recommend visiting her before the ribbon cutting. Go buy something, but also come to the ribbon cutting.
Yeah, we love new businesses, by the way, and we want to come out there in force and really support her, get her going in the right direction, be successful for Mystic.
Yeah, and Mystic is expanding. So she's over in that little corner over by M Bar, which we call this Broadway Junction now. So like we have to have little neighborhoods now because it's moving out.
That's right.
And speaking of moving out, we have some guests today that are from Westerly, Rhode Island, our sister city, which we love to incorporate on the shoreline community. We'd like to welcome Colonial Theater, and we have Dawn Robinson, who is a treasurer. Welcome.
Yep. Thank you.
And Matt Cunningham.
Hello.
He is also on the board of trustees.
Yes.
Welcome to you both.
Thank you.
Now, we want to talk about Colonial Theater. As everybody knows, theater is one of my favorite things to talk about.
I never got that.
Well, in my other life, and so now I'm fully happy.
That we get to talk about theater.
I've blended both of these worlds together.
Love that.
There you go.
Dawn, why don't you tell us just a little bit about the theater, about Colonial Theater, and what you guys do. How would people recognize you?
The Colonial Theater, I think, is best known for the production of Shakespeare in the Park, which is done at Wilcox Park on an annual basis. Mm-hmm. Generally, we missed last year, but we're back this year. We also have done a number of productions in the community in the past at the schools, and that's sort of a theme that we've picked up again in the last year. And lastly, last summer, we had a Midsummer Madness camp, which was quite popular, and we're rolling out again. So that's probably how people would most know us.
Excellent.
Would you agree with that, Matt?
Would you agree?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Now,
Good summary.
how did you get involved with the theater?
Well, actually, in my case, my daughter recruited me. My daughter was selling ads for Henry V, I believe, in our playbill. And she came home one day and said, "Mom, do you think that you would consider being on the board of directors?" And I said, "I cannot wait to be on the board of directors. I'm so excited about it on top of my small business. I can't wait to do that." But I did it anyway. And that's actually how I became associated with the board of directors.
And then they said, "Oh, the new girl, we're going to make her
There you
treasurer."
go. Yeah.
We don't have one of those. How do you feel about that? Great.
Matt, how about you? How did you get involved with the theater?
Well, I think it was just a couple of months after Dawn arrived on the scene that I was approached by another board member, and I had recently concluded a tenure on the board of the Ocean Community Chamber of Commerce, and so they knew I might have some availability, and I've always been a fan of live theater, especially community theater, and when it comes down to it, free Shakespeare in the Park
Right, exactly, right.
is a big draw for my attention. So it was in the fall of 2016 that I joined the board, and have been happily helping them to navigate the waters since.
Now, Matt, do you have any theater background yourself?
I played a character in Mr. Roberts. His name was, I think, Reber. I had maybe one line back in 10th grade, but other than that, none.
Does anyone out there remember?
No.
IMDb? Are we looking it up right
You
now?
get a demo film for
You
that?
will
Maybe
not
get-
find any video evidence of that.
No video evidence. Now, how about you, Dawn? I know that you're a radio personality, I hear.
I do have a show, Common Sense with Dawn. Thank you very much for mentioning that, on WBLQ on Fridays at 4 p.m. But my big introduction to the stage was through ballet. I was a ballerina.
Wow,
13 years.
impressive.
Yes, it was a long time ago, and I doubt you would find me.
No video evidence of this
No,
either.
well, maybe from my parents, but I'm not selling it.
Okay. Now, you guys have some events coming up. I know a Midsummer Night's Dream, yes?
So,
Tell us a little bit about that.
So this year, Matt, you have to help me with this. This year, we're doing things a little bit differently. We've actually, we went out for a bid to find a director. We've hired a director to come out. His name is Michael Scholar. And we picked Midsummer Night's Dream. We haven't done it in a couple of years as a theater. The casting is from New York City and locally. We'll have a number of people coming out of the city, actors coming out of the city. And we're running the production from July 31st through August 18th.
Now, this is a professional theater, then.
It is actually a professional production, that's correct.
And the plays that Colonial chooses, are they traditional? Are they modern?
Always William Shakespeare.
Always
for the
William
part.
Shakespeare.
Always Shakespeare in the Park,
Of course.
but we've allowed all sorts of different interpretations to be staged
Right.
throughout the years. This year, Michael Scholar is really bringing an interesting youthful slant to the approach. He's got a degree in directing from Columbia. He's also got some directing credits from Oregon Shakes, which is one of the largest Shakespeare festivals, if not the largest one in the country. He will have roles for local children to be involved in the production this summer that I think is going to be certainly a different and unique approach to this particular play. So
We're excited.
we're very much
We're
looking
very
forward to
excited.
working with him.
So honestly, I've never been. I feel terrible. So it's in Wilcox Park.
It's in Wilcox
is
Park.
it huge? I mean, what happens? Is it like this little stage or what?
We get about 5,000 people
What?
through the park over a 3-week period.
Oh,
And
okay.
although we'd love for it
We
to
have
be
capacity
5,000
for
people.
5,000
Yeah.
attendees.
And it's a free event.
Mm-hmm.
So it's right in the large central area of the park, if you've been to other events in the park. And we set up a stage for 3 weeks and have some food and green shows. Matt's in charge of our green shows. He's very good with music, so we have entertainment before.
Mm-hmm.
The production starts at 7:30 in the evening, and we just stick with it until it ends. We keep moving the hours up a little bit, though, I think, every year. It's because we're getting older.
So you just stick with it till it ends. Like, explain that.
Well, I think by that, Dawn, means that every day is different, and even though it's the same troupe, it's the same stage, it's the same script, one never knows what might happen, and often enough weather is a factor, as you might imagine, when you're producing an outdoor play. We're at the mercy of Mother Nature, and sometimes it has made poignant appearances during productions, let's say.
Little cameo.
Mother, she has made. So that's often a big factor. And then throw in other minor details, like sometimes there are, a few more mosquitoes and certain summers than others. So far, it's been good this year, and we're hopeful
But
that's
you
going
know-
to persist. But in any event, the show must go on, and it always does with us here at the Colonial
So,
Theater.
Kristen,
Yes.
you had mentioned our, down the shoreline, westerly, which is not Mystic anymore necessarily, but for our viewers that haven't been to Wilcox Park, that is truly a gem, not only for
nice
Rhode
to
Island,
say.
but for the whole region. So to have art, Shakespeare in the park, and that beautiful park, it's got to be a great experience for everyone that goes
We
there.
are so grateful to the Board of Trustees of the library. The library trustees own and maintain that park.
That's right.
And it's not a public, it's actually a private venue. And they give us the park for 3 weeks to do our productions, and we are truly grateful that we have the sponsorship of the library, truly.
The summer program, of course, couldn't be possible without them either, the
Yeah.
one with the youth later on in the summer.
Yeah.
So we have a few pictures that we want to show you. Frank. Now this is last year's production?
This is the year before. We
12th
did
night.
12th night
2017.
2 years
yes.
ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what happened last year? Do I ask that question or no?
Oh, sure.
What happened?
We worked on developing a relationship with the Westerly School District. So last
Okay.
summer, we were actually raising money and putting our kids, putting our talent behind the Westerly School District to start a theater program
Oh.
in the Westerly
It
School
had been dormant for the better part of a decade, as I understand it, and frankly, our funds are limited, and
Yeah.
we couldn't undertake both efforts at the same time. So we've actually now finished our second year in the school district, and we find ourselves once more in a position where we're going to be able to pull it off. So.
Excellent. We're happy about that. And the next slide, I think, is this year.
This is this year.
Correct.
And so this is a specific poster for the production by this director, right? I mean,
Yes.
Michael Scott, correct.
so who designs this kind of thing? When you did they talk to him, or did he bring this design with him?
We have a very close relationship through one of our board members, Nicholas Moore, to a phenomenal artist who really helps us out with these graphics. And this is a great graphic.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's so incredible.
So what's going on inside there? There's like a little.
A rabbit.
Well, it's actually the donkey. You probably
donkey.
remember the donkey in A Midsummer Night's
Oh,
Dream.
that's right, the
as
donkey.
Matt had mentioned, this production is based on concepts of a child's imagination. So this is a child with the concepts of the fairy and the donkey that are prevalent in A Midsummer Night's Dream.
We tip our hat to the artist.
Yeah, he does a great job for us.
Where's the donkey? I don't see the donkey.
It's the one that looks like a rabbit.
The
What I call
darker
the
toned
rabbit.
thing around the eyes with the 2 ears.
Oh, okay. I'm just pretending that I see it, but yeah. Okay, there it is.
Well, you talked about your vision challenges.
Yes.
earlier.
There's a psychological reason why you're not seeing it, Kristen, but we
Right.
won't get into that on this show.
It's one of those things.
Right.
Oh,
And if
so
you turn it the other way, it looks like an old woman.
That's right, young woman, old woman. I love that one. I love that one.
you tricked me into Rorschach Confessions or something. All right,
Something
what
like
is
that.
the next slide? Oh, yes. So
So
What's going on here?
we mentioned that we had kids in our production, and this was our spring production.
It's a musical.
Yeah.
now, when you work with the
You're a
schools,
good man, Charlie Brown.
is that what you actually they put on plays, or what are you doing? Is that what this is?
That this here is, in fact, yes, evidence of our spring production. We have John and Elena, our directing team, producing team, artistic directors, I believe is their title. For the last couple of years, they've been teaching programs within the school during school days when the children assemble. They occasionally will bring in outside talent as well to lead an instruction session. But ultimately, this has been on track for one production per semester. And in the fall, we did Our Town. We may have a photo of that upcoming. And then in the spring, this was You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown.
Good man, Charlie Brown. What is the next slide, Frank?
This is a monologue from Our Town. It was a fantastic initial production. This was the initial production of the 10-year renewal of the theater program in Westerly High School. So.
All right, now we are staging our productions in the old theater of the Babcock building, which used to serve as the junior high school in Westerly for years before being joined up with the high school campus sometime in the last couple of decades. I'm sorry, I'm not sure exactly when that happened. But.
And what's next?
So this is I mentioned this earlier, our Midsummer Madness camp, youth camp. It's a Shakespeare and theater camp. So in the summer, we will go out and the kids will go out into the park and they practice acting with John Peacock and Elena Rader. You can see the library in the background in this. The interior where the kids will go during the day when it's warm in the summer will be the YMCA, the Westerly YMCA, right around the corner from this.
Now, I think we have a video about this particular program.
Yep.
So, Frank, could you roll the tape?
Let's roll.
Hey, I'm Elena Rader,
And I'm John L. Peacock.
and we are your co-directors for Midsummer Madness, which is a youth Shakespeare camp sponsored by the Colonial Theater.
And it kind of totally flipped my perspective of Shakespeare because I wasn't too sure about it before. Now I really love it.
Ages 7 to 18.
Yep, and we're focusing on improv,
I like effort shapes and really being dramatic with those.
clowning,
Definitely clowning. I like learning about clowning. It was a lot of fun to put on the mask and get into character.
stage combat, text work,
The Weird Sisters, hand in hand, posters of the sea and land.
Shakespeare,
And fun.
and fun.
Midsummer Madness!
Oh, that looks like so much fun.
It was.
Yeah, don't you want to go? Don't you
I
wish
do.
you
I
were
want to be a
7?
kid again.
17? Yeah.
Practice that.
Now, who's going to this camp? Is it just Westerly kids or?
No, it's any kid, any child from 7 to 18 in the region that would like to go to a 2-week camp at the end of August. They're welcome. You can find on the website, which is on the screen, colonialtheaterri.org. You'll find the information for when the camp is.
Now, is there a maximum of kids that you can have at this camp? I mean, does it sell out or do you
Not
know?
at the moment.
We've
No.
only run it 1 year.
Oh, okay.
We're looking still at this point to build it and find out exactly what our
Yeah.
capacity might be.
You're
but
building.
at the
You're
moment,
building.
with the fact that much of it's outdoors, weather permitting, of course, there's generally room for anyone that's interested.
Now, is there opportunities for volunteering at the Colonial Theater?
We will take any volunteer who wants to come over and help at Shakespeare in the Park. Let me say directly.
Okay.
We have lots of opportunities to help manage we offer food and beverages, we collect donations, we offer playbills. The summer production is quite a production. It involves a lot of people, a lot of moving parts. It's amazing how much work goes into a free production. I don't think that we all kind of take our entertainment for granted. You don't really realize how much, even like this. So it's a big deal to put on a production. And if you want to come down and volunteer, we will find a place for you. I promise. Anybody.
And for those with an interest in local artists, we have a green show every evening of the performance schedule where at 6 p.m. we are lining up local musicians to come out and perform whatever they'd like for about an hour. And it's a great way for them to, number one, experience the beautiful pleasure of playing in Wilcox Park and affords them a chance to invite their friends and family. And hopefully they all stick around for what I'm sure will be a great production of A Midsummer's Night.
And it's not limited to any genre, right? They just whatever they like to play, they can come in and play.
Absolutely, and if anyone is interested, they may reach out again by way of the colonialtheaterri.org and drop a line indicating indicating your interest, and I will follow
Okay,
up
you
with you.
budding musicians out there.
Isn't
Is that why
Drop
it's the
a
green
line.
show? Because it's like
Yes.
you're a greenhorn?
No.
What?
No, green shows traditionally were just a lighthearted event that took place before the premiere event, and it was meant to just sort of engage the crowds as they were coming in, and add to the air of entertainment.
So will you be auditioning or will you be screening? I mean, or so it's a whole hour. You're saying that you get the stage.
It's a whole hour that
Wow.
individuals get the stage. A lot of local musicians have, a few demos that they're happy to share.
Right.
And if they've not already made public appearances where I might have seen them before or others. So we have no limitations upon style, genre, even numbers. We can provide electricity for sound connections, and we invite all people with interest to let it be known.
We should have a Mystic Matters show over there.
We should.
Absolutely.
Take
You
it
could
live
do
right
a
there.
That would be
remote
fun.
broadcast.
Speaking of electricity, we are super grateful for the donations of the Royce Family Foundation.
Okay.
And
Helping to keep the lights on.
yes, thank you for keeping the lights on and the sound on for our green show.
Wow.
And we are also very grateful to Washington Trust for the donations that they're making to us so far. Super, could not do it without you, and we are truly grateful for all the help and support.
And
Now-
of our respective institutions within our community
Yeah.
continue to be.
Where is the Colonial Theater? When you're driving past Wilcox Park, where is
You
it?
could say that's where it is. So the Colonial Theater is quite often a state of mind.
Okay.
We have no physical theater
Aha.
for our professional productions that we've staged, other than what we've been fortunate enough to enjoy at Wilcox Park.
That's actually quite smart, right? Because you don't have to pay overhead.
Well, we actually
Or
do
do you?
rent
Yeah.
the space of the Babcock Theater from the school district.
Okay.
So we have our stuff there. All the stuff that we do for our productions is stored there.
Costumes.
But we
yeah.
lease that space from the school district with the agreement that we will help to improve the space.
Now, is there any long-range plans for Colonial Theater for having their own space? Is that like a dream? Is there a millionaire out there?
Every dream out there. We will take any millionaire that wants to come in and donate.
Yes, ambitions abound, but there are certainly some capital improvements to the theater at the Babcock building that should be made, and the sooner the better. Although it's a lovely space, it had been dormant for quite some time, and as you might expect, things can fall into a little bit of disrepair, and modern technology has advanced now where options are available that they didn't have previously. So we're looking forward to helping to put our own stamp on that particular space as well.
Well, as the treasurer, you're keeping your overhead down,
That's
bring
exactly
maximum
right.
value to your viewers.
Exactly right.
That's what it's all about.
We have a great board. The board works really hard to support a number of different programs. For the summer production, we will literally raise the entire budget for the production from April to August. And it's butting on six figures when we do it.
Now, when you're fundraising,
Yes.
and this is just like solicitation and handshakes
Since
and
you
all
brought
that.
it up, if you'd like to shake our hand and make a pledge, we'd be entirely
With a couple of
grateful.
Ben Franklins in your hand.
Yes.
We have a golf tournament coming up on the 11th at out in
Musqueamicut
Watch
Club.
Hill at the Musqueamicut Club.
Is that June 11th?
June 11th.
So by now it would have already happened. It was so successful.
It
I'm
was.
so
It was
happy for
awesome.
you.
It was fantastic.
I wish
The
I
weather was
remembered the
lovely, too.
It was
sunscreen.
a fantastic day.
But that's every year, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
So a
you
golf
can come
tournament?
And
next
it's
year.
actually,
Yep.
it was actually a sellout event. I know that in advance.
Yes, we do. Every year it's a
so,
sellout. And then we
ask
have
early if you're
a
interested.
benefit, which if you have an interest in coming to the benefit, out in Watch Hill on the 20, I'm going to go with the Friday before the 31st
Okay.
There you
of
go.
July.
All right.
And
That would be the 27th, perhaps.
Thank you very much for that.
26th.
Thank you, Matt. It will be the 26th that we're having our theater benefit for the Colonial Theater, and those proceeds go directly to the summer production.
Okay, so that benefit is like a gala, or it's like a dinner, or how's that work?
It's an ungala.
Okay.
We're not calling it a gala, we're calling it a benefit.
It's a benefit.
Yes.
All right.
But it's food and
Food and
get-together,
cocktails
and
cocktails.
great
Yeah. Sounds like a fun
entertainment.
night. huh?
Ah,
Oh, it's gonna be
entertainment.
fun. You're welcome. Come
Acting
out.
vignettes, you name it. Sword play, mayhem of all types.
Yeah, we do entertainment. It's really actually a really good time. It's fun when we do them.
So what you all do, you're raising money between your benefactors, your sponsors, these benefit, the golf outing,
Yep.
so that the public can see Shakespeare in the Park
Correct.
for free.
Correct.
We do pass a bucket or two
Oh,
during the events,
okay.
but it is so
donation
any
only.
contributions are
Voluntary
certainly of the
donations.
voluntary sort, and they're always appreciated.
So it's great for the community.
It is really fun. It's really fun for the community. We enjoy it. Obviously we enjoy entertainment and we love being able to help our community, but this year we're really looking forward to having the kids involved in it. We have kids in the production and we have kids supporting the production, and we're in the process of creating a pathway between Westerly out of the school district into professional means around theater. So we're really excited.
Oh, you mean like a program to
Yeah.
help kids to
Yeah.
figure out if they want to be actors?
Or not just actors, makeup,
Just
lighting, music.
everything that supports the production, not just
Oh, that's so
necessarily
great.
on stage. And Westerly itself has really taken great strides over the last decade towards becoming an entertainment center in terms of quality theater of all sorts, musical productions. We even have a little comedy shop now. So not just great restaurants and views in Westerly, but also wonderful entertainment, new galleries in the train station.
Yeah,
so
there's
if you guys haven't been on a road trip lately, we'd love to
And Matt
find
and
out
I
when
are
you
not
do
the
it.
only
Yeah, we wouldn't show you
Matt
around
and I
at
aren't the
all.
only entertainment. There's other entertainment.
No.
Now, you said swordplay. I'm wondering, do you have any experience with swordplay?
I'm not going to really address that in the specific. I don't. No.
I was just saying, if people
No.
wanted to see him do swordplay, you should go to this
If it would
you
benefit.
never know. It might
if,
happen at
if
the
it would
banquet.
generate donations, I'd
You'll do it.
consider.
A true theater person. Will
We would
juggle.
welcome it. We would welcome it.
We'll
Yes.
juggle for pennies. Yes.
All right. So we're happy to promote the Shakespeare in the Park. And we also have the green shows, right?
Don't forget.
The Midsummer
6
Night's
p.m.
Dream.
Come early. Bring dinner. We can even arrange for that if you'd like.
Yes, great. So it's going to be food there at the
Yep.
at the Shakespeare in the Park,
Yep.
and then we also wanted to promote the Madness,
Midsummer Madness.
Midsummer Madness, which
That's
is
right.
the camp.
Yes.
So we're so great to have you guys
We can
here.
all act like we're 17 and go together.
I know.
Practice swordplay, right?
Guest
We will.
lecturers, I think we could do.
Well, I
We'll
thank
wing
you
it.
for being on the show, and
Thank you for having me.
yes, if you had any questions for us. Because that's what we were thinking. No? Okay. We are so pleased to have you in the Mystic community in our greater.
Yeah.
That's why we added the word greater.
Greater.
So that we
Greater
could
Mystic.
include everybody in on that.
We go on the other
Thank
side
you.
of the Pawcatuck River, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. So our neighbors and our sister city, we're happy to have Colonial Theater entertaining us, and please volunteer or
Thank you.
Just
come
come out and
out
see.
and have
Yeah,
fun.
It's a great show.
Yeah.
Go to that benefit. Sounds lovely.
Yeah, we're going.
Yeah, you bet.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see you there. I'm Kristin from the Mystic Chamber. We are Mystic Matters. Good night, Al.
Good night, Kristin.
Good night, all.
Good night, all.
Hey, I'm Elena Rader,
And I'm John L. Peacock.
and we are your co-directors for Midsummer Madness, which is a youth Shakespeare camp sponsored by the Colonial Theater.
And it kind of totally flipped my perspective of Shakespeare because I wasn't too sure about it before. Now I really love it.
Ages 7 to 18.
Yep, and we're focusing on improv,
I like effort shapes and really being dramatic with those.
clowning,
Definitely clowning. I like learning about acting. It was a lot of fun to put on the mask and get into character.
stage combat, text work,
The weird sisters hand in hand, posters of the sea and land.
Shakespeare,
And fun.
And fun.